then why do they come around? Like, they would come in these rooms. They're probably in this room right now. At least some of them. I just don't get that, and I like. So, Abby, explain to me why you want to listen to what they have to say.
I for lots of reasons, but some of it has to do with kind of knowing how far they'll, what their plan of action is, how far they plan to go. I mean, especially with a lot of the protests, I want to hear like what's motivating them and also what they're planning to do. I mean, in some of these spaces, you can hear people that are actually in that space. That guy was talking about going in and slapping or hitting and taking out, like by physical, against someone else. I can't remember all the context of it, but he actually was talking about that. So my curiosity is just to not so much that I need to be in an echo chamber. I mean, I'll be happy to debate anyone, but I want to hear where they plan to take it.
Yeah, Abby, I have to agree with you with that. I mean, that's maybe my psych major. I like knowing why people think the way that they think. And Roger, I like the anonymous thing because I don't. I like to be able to listen in when I've got the kids, and I'll generally pop up unanonymously when I'm able to talk, or if it's a long time or a short time. Because I always feel bad. I'll be honest. I'm just a girl. I feel bad denying an invite to come on stage to talk. I actually feel.
You do it to me every day.
I listen. I come in here so that I'm in the room, JB, but it breaks my heart because I'm like, oh my God, I have to say no, and I feel bad. I actually genuinely feel bad, and I know it's silly, but that's just me.
When those polyurethane bags and toe tag you, send your ass down to the morgue.
Mm-hmm. It would be good compost. Wouldn't that be good compost though?
I was made to not feel guilty for denying to come on stage because I only go into spaces with people that I like or people that have vastly different perspectives of me because I find the mind so interesting. I love to see how absolutely warped people think, and I get a kick off of hearing what created that, what was their environment, what is their upbringing, what lies do they tell to justify why they feel that way. It's actually quite fascinating. So anyways.
And with that, I want to welcome back JB, and your timing is impeccable because I have to get the heck out of here. It was a pleasure and a privilege helping run your room. Goodbye, everybody on stage. Goodbye, everybody in the audience. And a shameless plug, and I'll land it here. For those of you that have not been to my Saturday or Sunday morning rooms, you all are encouraged to come in, get your fresh five. Even if you totally disagree with me, just have a take and don't suck. Be careful on the clubhouse streets. Ciao.
Thanks, Steve. But I wanted to say, Roger, the reason I'll listen to them is because it saves me the hours of going through and having to research it through Twitter or online news sources. Because I could read CNN. I don't pay attention to a lot of any of the primary news sites, Fox, CNN, or them. I'll actually research and kind of look at what's trending and see and dive into it and watch the U.S. government sites as well as some state government sites. But when I hear these guys, it's like it saves me time having to read or look through the twaddle that exists on Clapper, Crapper, Twitter, Twatter, Extra, whatever the fuck app that there is out there. I don't really want to sit there and spend my days doing that. And I work while I'm on Clubhouse. I'm spending my time fucking right now working. I don't want to have to deal with that shit.
You're working while you're talking?
I hear what you're saying. I guess and I used to like hearing this stuff, but now what I've realized is that they're so diluted that their thoughts don't even make sense. Like if you listen to them describe where they thought the country was heading into last month before the election, they had this view because they were so much in their echo chamber that they thought that they were going to win. They really thought they were going to win. In fact, when I would when I would predict, that Trump was going to win and win in a landslide, you have some of them that would hedge a little bit and go, well, only if the country is still as racist as it's always been. They'd say something stupid like that. But oftentimes they would just be like, oh, you're just wrong and you don't understand politics. And so when I called it nearly perfect, the only person that called it more exact than I did was Beaver. I'll give him his credit. He called he pinpointed 100% the electoral count. You got to give him his props. I've seen the pre-election post that he had where he called it out specifically. So you do got to give props where it belongs. So he's the only person that called it more perfectly than I did. But I was very vocal about, it was going to be a landslide for Trump. These guys, they don't touch grass. They don't understand this at all. They didn't understand the tide was turning. They didn't understand what was turning the tide. They didn't understand the people that were leaving their tribe. They just didn't understand any of it. They didn't get it because they don't talk to people in good faith. And I think that should be the rule moving forward. Is like, hey, look, if you're willing to discuss these things in good faith, welcome to the table. Let's have a conversation about it. But if what they feel is that they don't want to hear you, let them be in their echo chamber. Let them just go as far into the abyss as humanly possible. Now, the only exception I would make to that, and maybe this could be where you guys are going with this, is that if what they're planning and plotting is criminal and you want to eavesdrop on that and to be able to be aware of that, that's fine. But as far as they're going to strategically come up with some idea that's going to take over the world, probably not. They're the dumbest of the dumb.
Well, I agree with you. And yes, I will co-sign and say that I've known Beaver since season 1. And Beaver is, he was great. He did predict. Yeah, he even helped in some of our club rooms. And Beaver's always been really great. But aside from that, I agree with you. But I would say it was interesting to have the debates because you have people that are sitting there going, I don't know which side I want to believe. I don't know which ideas to hear. I hear this and I hear that, and it's a lot of rhetoric. And when you actually get these individuals and you see what they're coming with, and then you're able to expand on it, you're able to counter it, then all of a sudden, those people in the middle were they were able to see, and they reacted accordingly in this past 2020 election. How many people say that they don't really like Trump, but they voted for the guy? Tell me where these progressives think they had any gains. You didn't. You had a sweep. You got spanked like you were a newborn, just born. It was sad, and you're still crying about it. You're holding up fucking a county in New York and saying, "Proof the election was rigged and stolen." Who the fuck rigged it? It was your administration. Kamala was the VP. If anybody was going to rig it, it was her. And oh, by the way, she won New York. So Rockland County doesn't fucking count. It doesn't matter if you found inconsistency because she won it. No one gives a shit. Your state's going down anyway. So, I mean, at the end of it, I guess I'm with you. There's no more. The further they move, the dumber they sound. And I mean, how many points are you and I going to debate? UBI, universal health care. What else is there? How socialism, how everything should be free, but yet you somehow or another you should get a pay increase. What else is there? That everybody should have their gender just removed and everybody be equal, but nobody wants to have that because everybody wants to play the oppression Olympics and wants the virtue signal that they need to get special treatment. Everybody should have free education for the rest of their life so they can get educated to do fucking what? Just live off the government tit? How to sign their name at the bottom of a form? I don't understand any of these ideas that we've battled for 4 years on this app.
Yeah.
Proctor, to answer something that you asked, I wish that the anonymous thing existed right after the election. So some of those spaces where I just wanted to hear the Arams and the Aarons just cry, and the goats and all the people that were jumping on us, just to be able to go in those spaces and sit and listen without your name being there would have been great. That's something that in hindsight would have been an enjoyable time on it.
Oh, but hey, you know what? The one person that I wanted after the election was Thugger Biden, and that piece of shit fled. And he was the one that constantly was the chocolate like that went into rooms. So Roger, you know him well. Isaiah Thugabida, whatever fucking name he wanted to go by that week. This was interesting because he got ran off the app afterwards. Go to, like, cried about how great the Democrat is, how great Biden was. All of these people that were backing up shit that nobody believed, nobody anywhere. You lost solid blue districts. Like, I don't even know how. Like B plus 8, B plus 100, and you still lost districts.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
I will tell you how that happened. It's a combination. It's not just one thing, but you have to fucking tip your hat to fucking what Trump was doing. When he was listening to, like, he would listen to his kid that would tell him, like, hey, you should go on this podcast, go on that podcast. He was going on these niche podcasts and tapping into fucking people that typically don't even vote. And he would just go there and, like, the people that don't vote, they're maybe not apolitical, but they're just not motivated enough to go vote. And all they would hear is they hear the one crazy uncle that loves Trump, and then they hear the other crazy uncle that thinks that Trump is a fascist, right? And so they don't know what to think. And then they'd see him on a fucking podcast being a human being, cracking jokes and just being fucking a normal dude. And they were like, wait a minute, this guy doesn't seem like any of the stuff that people have described him as. I think what happened was, this is a glimpse into the future of how campaigns are going to be ran and how you can reach audiences in a way that traditional media didn't allow you to before. I think that he outsmarted them in every way in this election. And, by the way, they ran a terrible campaign. They picked a terrible person. They ran a terrible campaign. And the person that here's the crazy thing. You spend all this time talking about defund the police, and then you run a prosecutor. It's just like, I can tell you that there are people that are far left that hate Donald Trump that stayed home and didn't vote for her. I know some of these people. I know people that are very far left. I'm talking people that live in Berkeley, right? That just can't stand Kamala Harris, and for completely different reasons than we can't stand her. And so they ran somebody that was so unlikable that the far right was going to hate her, the far left hated her. The only people that were in support of it were the delusional, never Trumpers, and then the people that just don't think for themselves and just check a box for anybody that's got the fucking the blue.
Yeah, Roger. So, hold on, Nathan, a second. Yeah, Roger, I agree with you, because that podcast on Joe Rogan, if you look at it, it excoriated, like, Bernie did not do well on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, he just didn't. Like, Rogan cooked him in ways that were glaring. And Rogan did kind of cook Trump. Trump did Trump things. But Trump came off as, like you said, normal and everything else. And Rogan was able to kind of push on Bernie even, and get Bernie to become wishy-washy in terms of his support and all of these, like, moral beliefs that he held. And Rogan kind of showed him very softly, like, hey, you're flipping on this. You're being hypocritical. And it's true. 3 hours on a podcast is going to expose you. It's going to sit there and show your true colors. And I think a lot of people on the left got exposed. Rogan's going to be the test case. He's going to do it again. And hopefully, if somebody's going to back somebody, that they're able to survive that for 3 hours.
Well, Mojo, you made a great point, and it goes way back, right? And people don't want to talk about it. The start of the downfall of the Democrats, right? It started with Hillary Clinton, right? And I was talking to my Republican friends, and we made a great point. Is this: we know that pretty much all Republicans hate Hillary Clinton, right? Check. We know that half of the Democrats don't like her either. Check. Why in the hell would you run somebody like that, right? And that's their problem. They go like a prosecutor as president. I mean, it goes against common sense, and that's why Donald Trump blew them out of the water, because they don't have any common sense. They would say, hey, I'm misogynistic because I'm like, hey, I would rather have Bernie because his policies. Well, Nathan, you're this. And that's pretty much calling me every name in the book, and now I'm gone. That was Democrat Party. So I mean,
The difference only with Hillary and Kamala is that Hillary actually won a primary. Like, you have to acknowledge that. But, yeah, I agree with you. Both really stuck candidates, but at least one of them democratically won a primary.
yeah, when I talk to Democrats about it, some serious Democrats, they're like, well, we know we cheated against Bernie, we rigged it, we didn't have a primary for Kamala, right? So what? Just deal with it. You can't with those type of shenanigans. You're going to lose people, independents. You're going to lose a lot of people, and that's the unfortunate thing. But I don't think that a Democrat Party is going to win, and even when Donald Trump, his term is up, I seriously don't think that the Democrats will win an election. The next election.
I actually think there's a possibility, but it's not going to happen in the near future. But I think that just like the Republican Party has had, some shift shaping that's gone on, if the Fetterman voice could resonate loud enough and the normal people rise up and say, you know what, this guy's talking sense. If the Democratic Party were to be reimagined under the image of Fetterman, I think they would win in a landslide.
Brother, it's too. Listen, I tell people this, right? I'm used to be a Democrat. Now, if I have a conversation with conservatives, Brad, AB,